Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm just here to bring you my latest junk journal. This one is listed in my Etsy shop. It's called Blue Haze. It's been listed there for about a week, but it's taken me a little while to get round to actually doing the video. So it's a soft cover journal, and things aren't looking good. The camera's flicked off already and I'm not even 30 seconds in, I don't think. So fingers crossed we have a bit more luck from here on. It's an envelope that's been covered with scrapbook paper. It's been Mod Podged, and then the closure is this gorgeous kind of crocheted lace trim that was gifted to me by Laura. Then I've got some kind of upholstery fabric here, also gifted to me by Laura, and then covered over with this pretty kind of pale blue lace trim. The back exactly the same, so just the scrapbook paper and the Mod Podge. So going inside, I have cut open for a huge pocket here on the inside of the front cover, and I also did the same on the back cover on this particular journal. So you've got two huge pockets there that you can obviously put letters, tags, ephemera, you know, kind of bits and pieces, photographs, things like that. So just wanted to kind of point those pockets out first. So going inside, the inside of the front cover is this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous paper. I absolutely love this paper, so I kind of was reluctant to cover it up. So I just kind of left it there and just popped on a couple of stamped images there, butterfly and a ticket, and then some lace trim down the side, and then this gorgeous bow from this kind of Hessian trim that I just kind of stitched on the sewing machine. And then on the facing page, you've got some lace trim down the side, a lovely bow, and then here you've got one of my acetate, not acetate, laminated pieces, which I actually did this one in the tutorial. So there is actually a tutorial of this, but it's the same paper obviously as this, so it just kind of picks that up really nicely. It's got this gorgeous blue flower. So this is a kind of tuck spot, and I've just tucked in one of my printables there from my Ladies Garden kit. There's some lace trim there and a little flower, so that just tucks in. And then I've done this as a tuck spot, so behind there I've just got this huge tag, which again, it's just some scrapbook paper, doily, stamped image, and then here's some lace as the tab. And then attached with a bulb pin, I've just attached one of those teeny tags again from my Ladies Garden Digi kit. So that's that. That just tucks in like that. And then going over the page, I love this page. I just really love this paper. Well, I love all of the paper in this journal, to be honest. So yeah, I just found it really striking. I love the blues and just love how it looks. And I love this one, the way you've got the lace obviously from the previous page kind of running along the edge. And then I've just got some lace trim here down the bottom and a little kind of navy blue bow there. And then here I've just got a little doily, and then I've just got some baker's twine tying this little booklet with some journaling pages. It's just got the word there, bibliography, just because these were the inside pages of a book. And they've, this one hasn't been coffee dyed, this one has been coffee dyed, and the card itself hasn't been. The image on the front, that's some of my vintage ephemera, you know, photocopy piece of it, and that has been coffee dyed and distress inked. Then you've got some vintage postage stamps there in the corner and some lace trim along the top. So that just ties back up like that, and then that's acting as a little pocket here for just a little envelope, which literally this is just again from my Ladies Garden kit, and it's just from paper, so it's just a kind of delicate envelope there. That just goes up there. Actually, sorry, let me just retract that statement. That's not from my Ladies Garden kit. That was from my draft kit, and it didn't make it to the final kit, so I just wanted to point that out. Here we've got just a corner tuck spot and a corner pocket. It's got some layered up images here, stamped images, little flower, some lace trim and faux diamante, and then tucked in there you've just got a little flip just from some coffee dyed scrapbook paper, and it's just got some lace running across the top. Then going over the page, I've just done this corner kind of pockets which has got a lift up kind of flap there for more journaling. It's made from an envelope, so obviously you've got the fold from the envelope there. It's got again some of that gorgeous scrapbook paper, and then here stamped image of the word together, some lace trim, a little flower, and some lace here under the word. And then here you've just got some vintage book page behind there. You've got some lace trim down the side and a little bow. So in there, that is from my Ladies Garden kit, just a journaling card. And then this is from kind of another kit that I'm working on at the moment. Again, it's taken from my Ladies Garden kit, but in kind of tones of blue. So that's kind of a piece from that. That just tucks in there. Then here I've just got some coffee dyed paper. It's got some vintage postage stamps, which I just thought were really gorgeous colour blue. And obviously picked up the blues really nicely from the book. A little fabric ruffle and some faux diamante and a stamped corner. And I've left these pages kind of blank for journaling, just stamped corners, some sheet music, little corner there. And again, a corner up here and there. And then on the next page, I've done a little cluster here. In these beautiful kind of purpley tones, and a doily there, bit of lace and a bow. Got a little bit of it's faux diamante, but it's in kind of goldy kind of shades, which I thought just picked up the nice yellows from the flower. And tucked in there you've got some of my vintage ephemera, which it's a photocopy which has been coffee dyed, so that's that, and just tucks in there. And going over the page, got again some more lace trim, stamped image here of this lady, and she's just kind of stuck there on the page. And then here, this is one of my digital printables, which I've just decorated up with a couple of little elements there, and butterfly. And then you've just got a little tag in behind, and that's got some lace trim as a tab, lace trim here, stamped image forever and always, and then some more. This is sheet music, but it's actually scrapbook paper of sheet music. And then you've got a little flower and a little pearl. That's that. And then on this page, I've got another cluster here. Again, a couple of images from my Ladies Garden kit. This gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful colour blue bow. A little bit of lace trim and a little diamante. And that's that gorgeous stamp of that vintage phone. And then here I've just got, this was a piece from a page in a vintage book. I can't remember the date of the book, but it was from the 1800s, very late 1800s. And I just thought that the colours kind of went really quite nicely with the book. It is a bit marked because obviously it is, vintage, so it's kind of intact, but is, tatty-ish, if you see what I mean. Because it is the original. And then going over the page here, I've got some ruffle and some faux diamante, a little bow, another cluster here, and then that larger tag from my Ladies Garden kit with just some lace at the top. That just tucks in there. Then here I've got some doily, which I have coffee dyed this doily, and as you can see it kind of fell apart a little bit during the process, so I just wanted to point that out. Got some corner stamps here on this coffee dyed page, got a bit of lace down here, I've got some greaseproof paper, a bit of book page, and then some more corner stamps here on this coffee dyed paper, some little vintage postage stamps, and then some more coffee dyed paper. And then on this one I've got one of those envelope pockets. It's got some vintage book page, a little vintage stamped image there, some lace trim, faux diamante, and then lots of lace trim here at the bottom and a little bow to the side. And tucked in, and scrapbook paper, tucked in the pocket. This is again from my Ladies Garden kit. It's just one of those little file folders. So inside obviously room for journaling. It's all been distressed. And then tucked in at the back, again, this is another image from the vintage book which I just thought kind of was quite nice to tuck in at the back there. And then this is the centre of the signature. I really love this page. Again, I love this paper. I just love all of these blue papers. They're just gorgeous. So I've got here some lace ruffle down the side and a bow. Got here a fabric ruffle down this side with some faux diamante, and a couple of stamped images up here that I've just kind of stuck onto the page. And then here on this one, I've got an altered paper clip holding this little booklet, which again, this was just made from one of the kind of trial draft images from my Lady's Garden kit. So again, this one didn't make it to the final kit. A couple of reasons, because I hadn't noticed, but it had this weird kind of spot. I don't know quite what that was about. And yeah, I just for that flicking off again. I've just popped some little book pages inside, and then I've done an altered paper clip here just with some more of that beautiful lace that is the closure, another bit of white lace, and then one of my little fabric pieces that I like making. So that's just how that attaches on, and that's obviously tucked in here, which is a kind of pocket. And then this also folds out, so it's just a little fold out flip held shut with this stamped image of a ticket, and it's got some lace trim, and that's all been coffee dyed just for more room for journaling in there. So it just tucks in like that, and then obviously this just goes in here and then kind of holds neatly shut with the paper clip. And then on the facing page, you've just got, again, another little fold out, which is held by this closure of the, like a vintage advert. And you've got some little white, I think that's called embroidery anglaise kind of trim there. And then when you open that out, I've just popped some pages in for extra journaling space. So quite a bit of journaling space there. And again, that just tucks in obviously behind there to close that. And that's also a tuck spot. Oh, you've got a doily behind. It's also a tuck spot for this little booklet, which just folds out like that. And you've got some lace trim and a couple of fussy cut flowers, and then a stamped image there. Then going over the page, this one here is an envelope pocket, and again I've just layered up some images, so some scrapbook paper, stamped images, doily, and this again is a vintage image which I've just copied, and then it's got some lace trim, faux diamante, fabric ruffle with a bit more faux diamante and a little flower. And then in the side here, this is just a little kind of journaling card that I've made, just layered up some various elements there, which I thought looked really kind of pretty. So that just tucks in here. Then I've just done some corner stamping. May all your dreams come true, little banner there, more corner stamps, piece of lace and a corner stamp, and then vintage book page, greaseproof paper, bit of lace trim down the side, another corner stamp, the other piece of that coffee dyed doily, again a bit damaged during the process. And then here, this is one of my kind of envelope booklet things, so tied with the string, as I like to do. And now I've actually knotted it. Right, and so on here I've just got some bits layered up. So I've got some book page, I've got here, again this was one of the draft pieces from my Lady's Garden kit. I've got some lace trim and a flower with a pearl. Some of this gorgeous lace here with a flower and a journaling spot there, and I've just stamped in the corners. And that opens out to form a little booklet, like that. Now I will just point this out, when I was coffee dyeing this, this was obviously next to some, you know, printed pages, and some of it has run onto this, making it look a little bit pink just up here. So I just want to kind of point that out. And then the envelope, obviously you could pop something else in the envelope. And then that just ties closed again. Like that. And then down here, some lace trim and a little bow. And then here, this is another one of my little printables, and it's just got the lace trim and the layered up flowers. You've got some fabric ruffle, which has been coffee dyed. and then a little bow down here and some faux de monte. And then I've just got a stamped image that I've just kind of glued onto the page just because, you know, for interest. Another journaling card from my Ladies Garden kit. That just goes in there. And then on this page, I've made this huge kind of corner pocket tuck spot, which is from scrapbook paper. Then you've got a stamped image, which has been layered up. It's all been coffee dyed. And then some flowers, which I've copied from a vintage book and distress inked those. Some vintage book page, little stamped image of a ticket and a little flower. And obviously you've got lace trim down the side, some faux de monte. This string is just purely for decoration. It does nothing. It's not tying something up or anything. It literally is just for decoration because I thought it looked quite pretty. So if you didn't like it, you could always snip it off. Then tucked in behind there, I've just got this large tag, which has got some more of that sheet music scrapbook page. It's got scrapbook paper, and then it's got some more fussy cut flowers, another stamped ticket, and the definition of the word cherish stamped image, and some lace trim. Obviously that's plain on the back for journaling. And then on this page, I've just got a little kind of tuck spot with various layered up elements and some lace trim at the bottom, and again another one of those huge tags from my Ladies Garden kit with just some lace as a little tab there stapled on. Then on this side I've just got a vintage postage stamp and a corner stamp. Corner stamps here, and then the sheet music, little vintage postage stamp again, and then on this page, I love this page, it's so pretty, and I don't know whether it's going to come out, you know, accurately kind of colour wise, but it's very pale blue, kind of a powder blue, and it just looks so pretty here. Yeah, I just really love it. So basically what I've got here is some lace trim down the bottom and a little bow. Got a doily piece here, and then here this is just an envelope, which obviously there's nothing in it, but you can pop something in there. And I've altered it with one of my little printables here, and then some lace trim down this side and this side, and then this little blue, it was actually from scrapbook paper that I fussy cut out, and a little flower there also stuck on. Just love how it looks. It's very delicate colours and looks really pretty. And then on this page I've got some lace trim down the bottom, which I've just kind of actually glued it in a ruffled way, so I didn't stitch it, I just glued it on. I've got one of my little button embellishments, some faux de monte, and then this little folding kind of flip, which just tucks in here behind this stamped image and just folds out for journaling. And then it's got some lace trim here across the top and a little bow. And then on this page I've just got a cluster here and some lace trim, little bow. This cluster was kind of inspired by my ones from Laura. Again, kind of really tried to kind of emulate hers. I did use a staple for a couple of things, but I did also glue on some bits and bobs. And it's got this soft net, which I loved on there as well. And then tucked behind there, I've just got this little kind of journaling card that I made just using some scrapbook paper, some doily, piece of my Ladies Garden kit, and then a stamped image of a ticket, a little flower, and some lace trim down the side. And then on the last page, we've got here another cluster that I've made, again inspired by my ones from Laura. Again, this one has been glued. I did staple on just this flower with some sewing pattern paper. It's got some lace trim down the bottom and a little bit of faux de monte. And that just acts as a little kind of tuck spots for, this is again one of my printables, and I've just kind of coffee dyed it and then distress inked it. And I used, I can't remember whether it was pine needles or one of the green kind of shades of distress ink from Tim Holtz, because I just thought it would pick out the greens really nicely from the leaves here, because these flowers actually, they're quite purpley looking against here, so I just thought it would tie it in really nicely. So that's that one. And then here on the very final page, I've got some lace trim, and then I have a bunch of items here just clustered up. So I've got doily piece, some vintage postage stamps, another one of those stamped images, and a flower with a pearl. And then I've kind of made that double pocket. I quite like doing these. I've done them a few times in journals. Just think it looks really interesting. So basically we've got kind of two pockets. There's one here and then one laid over. So in the back pocket it's just an image from my lady's garden kits, just of the postcard with the lady. She just tucks in there. And then here I just made a large tag, and I just left it plain because I just absolutely love that paper. So yeah, I just thought it was quite nice, kind of plain, and there's lots going on the rest of the page. So you know, I thought it could take having a plain piece. And then it's just got a piece of lace there as a little tab, and that's just been stapled on, and that just slots in there. So that's the entire journal. So I hope that you liked it. If you liked it, you know, I'd love to hear what you think, and maybe give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in my next video. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.